big offers on new GMCs. Get a 26 GMC Sierra 1500 elevation with $7,000 customer cash with trade-in or 0% for 60 months plus no payments for 90 days. Need heavy duty? Get the 26 GMC Sierra 2500 with $1,000 in rebates or 4.9% for 48 months. Plus save on 26 GMC Terrain and Arcadias with over $1,000 in rebates when you finance with GM Financial. See Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas or online at hurlchev.com. GMC, professional grade.
At Ray Community District Hospital and Clinic, they believe in promoting healthier living through compassionate quality care. From state-of-the-art maternity care to life-saving emergency services, their dedicated team is there for you and your family. Whether it's managing diabetes, navigating recovery, or receiving specialized treatments, they're committed to your well-being. Discover the difference a community-focused hospital can make. Visit rayhospital.org today to learn more. Ray Community District Hospital and Clinic. Your health, our priority.
You can feel it in the air. Longer days, greener lawns, and plenty of projects waiting around the house. Good thing Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware in Goodland has you covered. Freshen up your home with Benjamin Moore paint, tackle the yard with powerful Ego battery tools, and give your lawn the boost it needs with Stage 1 Ultimate Fertilizer. Thinking about cooking outside? Check out their great selection of grills, griddles, smokers, and outdoor living essentials. And remember, if you need it, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware probably has it. They eat and have milk. Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware in Goodland and Colby, your place for just about everything.
You ready? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4!
It's time for the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer and Garrett Wellbrock.
Rise and shine! It's butt whipping time.
The High Plains only local sports talk show. Broadcasting live on Goodland's Rocket 102.5 KLOE and video streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Discussing it all from the preps to the pros.
Right side throw, touchdown! Kansas City!
The Blitz is presented by Hurl Chevrolet GMC, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware, and F&B Bank, along with
IdeaTech Fiber Internet, Topside Portables and Pumping, The Insurance Agency, Pest Away, and Equity Bank of Hoxie, Quinner, and Grinnell.
Let's go to work.
And good morning, everybody, here on Welcome to the Morning Blitz. Happy Friday. A little different today, of course. We mentioned Ross Volkmer is out for about the next week or so. So, Lucas Kenny, glad to have you. You were here yesterday, of course. But once again, welcome to the show for this week. As
Thank
Ross,
you, sir.
I think he'll be back Thursday or so, but yes, happy Friday to everybody on this June 19th, Juneteenth as well. Happy Juneteenth. How are you doing today, Lucas?
I'm not doing too bad. Had a pretty good show there over on the Good Neighbor Hour, and I'm ready to talk sports this morning.
Absolutely. Going to be a fun show. As pretty nice weather out today, kind of the last good day of weather for the week or so.
Sure.
Looking at the forecast, it's going to be pretty stormy all weekend and then rain most of next week as well. So enjoy it while you can. Highs in the mid 80s today and also cloudy, so not too hot, but it should be a good one. You got any good weekend plans for this week?
Well, my wife's going to be out of town, so I'm going to be home by myself, and I'm on severe weather this weekend. So sounds like my plan's going to be hanging out here in the studio for most of the weekend. Hopefully the really bad severe storms stay away, but make sure you guys stay tuned to your favorite NWKS radio stations for any severe weather updates. Like I said, I'll be here on the weekend. So we'll be getting you guys anything and everything regarding weather. Yeah, that's kind of my weekend plans. And if not, I was hoping to golf, but it's not seeming like that's going to be possible.
That's what I was thinking also. I was debating on maybe hitting the course. I know there's some tournaments here in Colby, so I was actually thinking about maybe going up to Goodland to play. I didn't know if there were any tournaments this weekend, but I don't think it's going to really matter because, the weather is not cooperating, so not going to be good days to golf whatsoever. We got a good show planned here for this Friday. Of course, we've got picks of the weekend. Lucas is going to take over Ross, obviously, for today, but also for the pick. So the record that Ross has, it's just going to continue and roll over. So, Lucas, a lot of pressure on you today to make some good picks. There's a big lead, though, seven game lead. I've been struggling here as of late. So you got some room for error.
That's good because when I was with him while you were on vacation, I made a few predictions, and I think I went 1 for 4 or something like that. So hopefully I don't screw up Ross's record too much.
Yeah, we got some picks. Kind of the dry part of the year too. We got some World Cup in there, some MLB, mostly MLB. Even UFC. You watch any UFC at all during the weekends?
Not a whole lot actually, but I did like seeing that the whole White House 250. That was a pretty cool deal. So I guess we'll kind of see how that plans out.
Yeah, I don't really watch much either, but I got a UFC pick in there. The main event for the weekend. That's how much there is going on this weekend. Then we got some local regional updates coming up later on the show. Some high school news. Of course, the Royals and Rockies. Rockies were off yesterday. We'll get a Royals update. And then the College World Series starting this weekend. That'll be fun to watch. And then we mentioned the World Cup, USA and Australia tonight. We'll start now with our first topic of the day here. It's this new home run derby format. So news actually came out. This was yesterday that Major League Baseball, they are changing their home run derby format this year. So even in the middle of the season, they've already made that change. They are eliminating the clock, and they're going to return to a swing-based competition. It's not what they used to have, where it used to be like outs. Now this is just pure swings. So in the first round, 8 players get 20 swings each, with extra swings earned for homering on their final swing. Kind of like, almost like the money ball in basketball. Your last swing counts for more. It's kind of like that, but you could just keep swinging. So if you keep hitting home runs consecutively, you keep going. And then the top 4 advance to the next round based on total homers. Then the semifinals and finals will be like a head-to-head matchup with 15 swings per player. And then the same extra swing rule as I talked about. And then they hope the new format kind of reduces player fatigue and injury risk, though somewhere it could slow the pace of the event, because I don't know if you remember, we were pretty young, but those events, they went long, like almost 4.5 hours as the home run derby. It's kind of crazy how we're almost already the All-Star break. That's in about less than a month. It's going to be in Philadelphia. I guess the main thing I want to ask here, Lucas, what do you think about this new change? Is it going to really affect much, or how is it going to change?
So one of the things that I kind of read in this article that the main point that I kind of wanted to hit on is they kind of said it has something to do with players being too fatigued and risking injury when they're rushing through that. I think it was 3 minutes is what they got to try and hit as many home runs as possible. That was the former format. And I do kind of agree with that. When you're rushing through that, you're quickly resetting. Your muscles haven't had really time to do anything besides continuously swing, and that's risking a whole bunch of injuries right there. So I don't blame the players for liking the format, but kind of like you said, with the timed format, it made it go a lot quicker. There was less dragging. It made it kind of less boring. Because I think I also read somewhere that a few years ago, somebody had a last-second home run to win the home run derby, and that does create more excitement. But I'm kind of leaning more towards the player side of things, where I would rather not risk an injury than have something exciting happen, but then I come back and I've torn a muscle in my arms or a muscle in my hip, and it just not. And then my season's gone. So in this case, I agree with the change more so than keeping it the way it is. So I guess we'll see how this year goes. I do think when was the last time that they changed it? It's been a few years.
Yeah, they've had kind of tweaks every so years. When they brought the clock back, I think it was 20. I want to say in mid 2010s when they implemented the clock format. But yeah, I kind of agree with you on that. I think it's a really good change, safer for the players. That's the most important thing. You see Kyle Raleigh on the Hurl GMC video stream right now. He was the winner of 2025, and he had a huge advantage because he's a switch hitter. So you're using all the muscles on one side, like, your core and all these different types of muscles when you're hitting, but he never got tired because he could just switch. He'd hit lefty one round, righty the next. So he had a huge advantage. But I do agree with you're not really letting your muscles relax at all. I know they got a break, like a 30-second cool down in their 3-minute time, but you never, like, when you're hitting batting practice, you always, can take some time in between swings. It's never constant, pitch after pitch like that. Right. So I do like the new format. Just for the player safety. Nobody wants to get hurt in the home run derby, and you don't want it to turn into like the NBA slam dunk contest where guys don't want to go anymore, because that dunk contest, it stinks now because nobody wants to be in the NBA to do that because they don't want to get hurt. It's going to be a lot of the same if they weren't to make some changes, I think.
I also think of like golf long drive competitions. Most of those, they get a certain amount of balls that they get to hit rather than trying to make them hit as many in a certain time frame, because that is extremely strenuous on your body. If you guys watch long drivers, man, they are moving all the time. They're jacked up, listening to hard rock music. Actually, those are quite fun to watch. But I take it as kind of the same thing. It's extremely strenuous on your body, and player safety should be the most important thing, because without the players, you don't have the league. So that's kind of where I stand. I stand with the change rather than kind of keeping it the same.
Yeah, and you want the stars out there too. You don't just want the guys that aren't really hitting home runs out there. Of course, non-all-star players. I think the biggest concern with this now, as we just kind of hit on earlier, is it's going to be the pacing of this. Without a clock, how long will this take? Because now if you're a hitter, like, you can just sit in there, and if your BP thrower throws a couple pitches outside, even if it's a strike, it's like, I don't want to hit that one. I don't have to. You can wait for that good, juicy pitch on the inner half of the plate to where you can try and pull for a home run. That'll be the biggest question, I think, going forward.
Yep. I totally agree. And actually, that's a good point. When you're under a time constraint, you're swinging at every single pitch pretty much. You can't really pick your pitches. So that's going to make for even better home runs in general. Because you want the players to smash those things as far as they can, 450, close to 500 feet. But if they're swinging at every single pitch that's thrown at them because they want to make hit as many as possible in the time constraint, then you kind of lose the whole mojo of the home run derby, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. And it's going to be something. Obviously, they have made this change already, so it's not even in talks. Now, there's a ton of MLB talks right now that we could probably get into for, what's next in this season, or the next seasons. But this is going to happen already. It has been confirmed. What is, what's going to happen in the new home run derby? Once again, they are changing to a swing-based derby format to where they get 15 swings in the first round. And I guess there is a reason for this too. In 2023, in the home run derby, Luis Robert Jr., he pulled a muscle. He injured his calf during the home run derby. So that is part of the reason. He did not miss any regular season games, but it was an injury scare from the derby. So that's kind of really the first time you've ever really heard of a home run derby. Now, it will kind of take away out. I might take away. I'm not sure, but I don't know if you remember back, I think it was like 07 or 08, Josh Hamilton. Have you ever seen his home run derby that he had? It was at Yankee Stadium.
I'm not totally for sure.
I think he hit it was like 50 home runs in like one round, or 40. It was insane. But that was back when they had the 10 outs rule, and you could just get up there and mash, and we'll see what happens. Obviously, like you said, there was a buzzer beating home run, so might not get any of those anymore. But I think the extra home run ball that you get, you can keep swinging. That will bring back some excitement too, as we continue the home run derby into this year, and possible not even a season in 2027. That's a whole another conversation. All right, moving on. We have our second topic here of the first segment. Once again, the FNB Bank text line is open at 785-899-2222. If you're interested and want to hop into the conversation, just shoot a text. Of course, if you have any picks of the weekend too in our next segment, be sure to shoot that number a text. So our second topic is the FIFA World Cup, and that obviously probably the most popular tournament right now going on is the World Cup. And there's a lot of backlash going on with these hydration breaks, which, if you don't know, they are basically like TV timeouts for every other sport that we have, but soccer doesn't do that. It's just pretty new. They are mandatory breaks at the World Cup. They're facing a lot of criticism for disrupting the momentum of the matches. And it gives coaches opportunities to make adjustments during these like timeouts, you could say. And the big reason that the backlash has started is there was Germany and Curacao the other day. It was a 1-1 tie. And of course, Germany, huge favorites in that match. And Curacao was tied with them. And then one of these hydration breaks comes about, and then they go on a huge run and gain all the momentum right back. And they win 7-1. So Curacao is obviously frustrated. But that's kind of the question. Is this good or bad for the World Cup? What are your thoughts?
So obviously, I understand soccer is a sport of extreme conditioning. Of course, running down the field nonstop for 90 plus minutes. It's extremely condition based. And when you have the weather that we've had in the U.S. recently, actually, I've seen a lot of people. By people, I mean foreigners that have been here in the U.S. for the World Cup, saying, "Man, this heat is crazy." Especially in places like here in Kansas, or I guess I should say Kansas City and Missouri, you're going to have some pretty good heat. And it's a player safety thing. I understand that momentum is a huge part in sports and soccer, especially because there is no stoppages. Momentum is crazy for that. But again, if I'm a player, that's on me to try and keep the momentum after the break. You think of games like basketball, or actually, we'll take volleyball. I think volleyball is one of the most momentum-based sports. Just watching high school, watching my wife in college, volleyball is one of the most momentum-based sports that people play. And when a team takes a timeout and all of a sudden it's a flip of the switch, I understand you'd be frustrated as a player. But at the same time, if I'm in the World Cup and I'm running back and forth on this field for 90 plus minutes, I'm gonna want to break, especially in weather that I'm not quite used to. I know that a lot of these teams aren't quite used to some of the weather that we've had here in the U.S. So from a player's perspective, again, it kind of goes back to the home run derby as well. I'm wanting this hydration break. But I understand from a fan standpoint, you want your team to win. You want that momentum. So it's kind of a hit or miss. But in my opinion, I think it's more good than it is bad.
I'm glad you brought that up. The weather is the reason why they're even having these, because it's not been something that is normal for the FIFA World Cup to ever do. But because of the heat here in America, that's why they've brought these in. And I'm gonna disagree on you at that. One point of that is the momentum, like you talked about. It's so important, and even in soccer, that is maybe more important because there is no stoppage of play. If you're the more conditioned team, you have that advantage already coming to the match, and it's very interesting to see, because is hydration breaks good for safety of the players? Yes, absolutely. But I don't even when you start hearing the players talk about it, they're like they don't even like it. So it's very odd to me that they're even having these, because it also gives a chance for the TV to make more money because they go to commercial break, more revenue that way. That's kind of what we're seeing too, is when you watch a soccer match, it's straight on. You're going to watch 45 minutes of that first half with really no breaks at all, because they play through everything. Even if there's a foul or anything like out of bounds, the clock keeps going, obviously, and there's no timeouts. You get one little break there at halftime to make adjustments for the second half. That's it. And so I'm not a huge fan of it. I just think you lose flow, especially like I was talking about that Curacao match. Curacao probably beats Germany one time out of 100 matches. They're such an underdog in that type of match versus a heavy favorite like Germany. And then that one, you had them on the ropes, but then if they're playing in a friendly match back in Europe, you wouldn't have had this, or any match back in Europe. But since we're here in America, they get the hydration break to really break that momentum. So I think the backlash is very justified. It stinks that ends up happening, but it is part of the game, so you have to be able to adjust.
And now that you kind of mentioned it with TV deals and commercials and stuff like that, that's probably the main driving reason on why these hydration breaks were introduced. Because like you said, the players and the teams are used to playing 45 minutes straight for each half. and the better conditioned team is most likely going to come out on top. And here in the U.S., the sports are extremely commercialized. I mean, you've got brand deals on the fields and the stadiums all throughout the game. Man, the NFL is getting hard to watch because it seems like, I don't know, you could take a break at the 2-minute warning, team punts, oh, we got another break, one play, timeout, oh, another break, and it's like, come on. And I guarantee that is the main reason why these hydration breaks were introduced is more money revenue, or TV revenue, more TV deals, more commercials, things like that, just to try and make as much money, because this hasn't been an issue in the past before until it comes to the U.S. this year. So unfortunately, that's kind of another driving factor that it's probably one of the main reasons why it was introduced.
Yeah, it keeps like in my head. It's just I can't wrap my mind around it that the players, they don't want it. Like there was an interview. Gosh, what's his name? He plays for Norway, I think. He's blonde. I don't know his name. He's blonde. He's got the ponytail. One of the best players in the world. But he was talking about in interviews like, it's weird. Like he's like, I don't like him. You get so much momentum. You get the flow of the game. It just disrupts everything. Yeah. And that's part of why you call timeouts in sports. I mean, the NBA is a good example of it too. Like if you watch any of the NBA finals, it's like one team goes on a 7-0 run, timeout. They anytime a team goes on a run, it's a timeout. Well, that's one thing about soccer. You can't stop it. If you have an avalanche coming down, it's going to come down. Like it's not, you can't stop it whatsoever. And that's what I think the beauty of the sport is. It's the one sport that it is nonstop action. And I know maybe this isn't probably the most popular sport in the country by any means, but it is kind of fun when it's here to watch it. And it's kind of disappointing, in my opinion, that it's a little different than what we're used to when they play across the ocean in Europe and wherever they play the past previous World Cups, and when there hasn't been a hydration break.
Yep. I agree with you there. Officer Jared chiming in on the text line. Again, the F&B Bag text line, 785-899-2222. Firstly, regarding our weekend picks, he says, no pressure, Lucas, or Tank, and I'll buy you lunch. I might have to take you up on that. Sorry, Ross. He also said the Germany game versus, I can't remember.
Curacao, yep.
Yeah. They went on a 6-0 run after the hydration break. And then let's see. He says USA versus Australia today. Let's go USA. I agree. USA. Let's go. But anyways, yes. Back to our main point. The hydration breaks. Honestly, yeah. Man, I had a point in my head and I totally lost it now. Yep, it's gone.
Yeah, Great point, Jared, on the 6-0 run, because that's what I was trying to get to earlier. A 1-1 tie late in the or early second half, and then the six goals in a row. That's pretty. I mean, that doesn't really happen that often by any means. 7 goals is impressive. 7 runs in baseball is a good day. 7 goals in soccer is an insane day.
You're having a great day.
That's part of what we're seeing so far, and out of these hydration breaks is a lot of backlash going through, and the fans also haven't enjoyed it. The ones at the stadium, because it kind of feels like the whole thing about soccer is energy in the stadium. How loud those places are, especially with all the people traveling from all the countries to meet up here in the USA to watch these teams, and how awesome these fans are. And then you get so much momentum, and then you have to calm down because, oh, nothing's going on, no action, timeouts going. I think that's honestly part of it, because players do feed off that energy from the fans. 100%. And when they have to cool down because of the players cooling down, it's unfortunate.
Another actually text from Officer Jared, and he brings up a good point. Does the MLS have breaks? Major League Soccer, does that have breaks? That's actually a really good question. We'll have to kind of look that up here. It looks like Garrett's on it. Thank you for that question, Officer Jared. Because if that's the case, that may change things just a little bit. Probably not a whole lot. What'd you find there?
So yes, the MLS does do them if it is 82 degrees Fahrenheit or higher. They will do mandated hydration breaks. But obviously the the MLS season could be a little different if you're playing in a cooler climate like Seattle, for example. It might not get up there that often. So it kind of depends on where they play. And honestly, it probably depends too. I don't know if I thought I saw that they were doing every game had a hydration break, but the U.S. does play in Seattle tonight, so we will see what the weather is and if they do that. But pretty certain that it's pretty much every game for hydration breaks.
Yeah, Steve from Benkelman, Nebraska chimes in. He says when reffing football games, as in American football, we were supposed to do water breaks between possessions or during other times that don't mess with momentum. While I do agree with that, it's pretty hard to do that in soccer because, like we've mentioned, each half 45 minutes, you play until the half. So it is really hard to do something like that, which is why that they implemented these hydration breaks specifically for that reason, because there isn't any other chances. But yes, I do agree with that. If you have one, you should do it sometime where it won't mess with momentum. But unfortunately, in the World Cup, there really isn't a place you can do that.
Yeah, really, the only thing I could think of maybe is after a goal, maybe after a goal, because even when like a ball goes out of bounds, the other team, like, it doesn't matter. It's not like basketball where you wait for everybody, the ref hands you the ball, people get ready, they get lined up on the defense, offense. No, like, you can grab the ball yourself and just throw it in. And if the defense is back, they're still playing defense, it doesn't matter. I mean, you could get a nice little running start on the offensive side if you just get that ball in really quick.
Yeah, Steve, once again, I like this comment. I would do them when someone was rolling around pretending to be injured. I agree with you there. And I'm sure that they probably do, just kind of like an injury timeout thing for most other sports. But yeah, it's kind of a hard topic because it's here in the US, it's probably more so for the revenue, for the TV brands and the commercials and stuff like that. So I guess we'll kind of see where it goes from this. And maybe it is a temperature based thing. So I guess we'll see with the US playing Australia tonight.
Yep, USA and Australia. We'll have some more on that here later on in the show. But coming up, we will have the picks of the weekend. It's kind of a little dry part of the year. We're starting to get to that point where a lot of it's just baseball. Now we do have some World Cup and some fights, and of course the College World Series starting this weekend.
I have to start talking about Little League games here.
Yeah, Little League World Series. That's going to be popping up here at the end of July. But yeah, we'll take a break here. We got picks of the weekend coming up next. This is the Morning Blitz.
Owners Matt and Michaela Kaus at M&M Supply are up and running at their new location on West Highway 24 in Goodland. Gracious, it's spacious. M&M is your Hustler mower dealer, a big selection of all sizes. They're your Briggs & Stratton, Kawasaki, and Kohler dealer, plus DeWalt cordless lawn tools. They service all brands, and they'll take your trades. Hey, take advantage of their service special going on now at M&M Supply, their new location, 626 West US Highway 24 in Goodland, Kansas.
Want the latest devices and great service? You'll find both at Next Tech Wireless. Right now, when you bring your number to us, you can get unlimited data plus the iPhone 17 for as low as $25 a month. That's the phone you want, the coverage you need, and the price that fits your budget. Why pay more somewhere else? Make the switch, keep your number, and start saving today. Next Tech Wireless, 20 years of connecting Kansans.
It's time for a check of the markets with the Anderson Trade Group on the Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio Network.
As communities across the country recognize Juneteenth, it's a time to reflect on a moment in American history that changed millions of lives, and agriculture has a unique connection to that story. Juneteenth commemorates June 19th, 1865, when enslaved people in Texas learned they were free, more than 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation was issued. For many newly freed families, freedom was tied closely to one thing: land. The ability to own land, grow crops, raise livestock, and build something for future generations represented independence and opportunity. Agriculture was not just a way to make a living, it was a pathway towards economic stability, self-sufficiency, and community. But the journey was complicated. After emancipation, many formerly enslaved people faced barriers to land ownership, access to credit, and the resources needed to succeed as farmers. Even with those challenges, Black farmers and agricultural communities continue to make significant contributions to American agriculture, developing farms, building businesses, and passing down knowledge, traditions, and skills through generations. Their stories are a reminder that agricultural history has always been shaped by many different people, from the fields and farms to the communities that support them. Here in the Midwest and across the country, agriculture has always been about more than what happens in the field. It's about families, hard work, perseverance, and the ability to build a future. Today, Juneteenth provides an opportunity to recognize those stories and ask important questions about the future of agriculture. How do we continue creating opportunities for the next generation of farmers? How do we preserve the history and contributions of all the people who helped build the agricultural industry we know today? Because agriculture has always been a story of resilience, and every farmer, every family, and every community has a role in that story. For the Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio Network, I'm Addison Stoddard.
Are you feeling the pinch at the pump? Choose E15, fuel made by American-grown corn that will save you money every time you fill up. It's a smart choice that supports local farmers right here at home. E15, save more, support local. This is brought to you by Kansas Corn, working for farmers, working for you.
If you want to really protect your corn and soybean acres, you need to take your protection to a whole new level with Elevest Insect Control. Elevest Insect Control provides fast-acting, long-lasting residual and broad-spectrum control of Lepidoptera and insects and many other pests, including stink bugs. Elevate your ROI, elevate your residual control, and elevate your efficiency with Elevest Insect Control. Visit your FMC retailer or elevest.ag.fmc.com. Elevest Insect Control is a restricted-use pesticide. Always read and follow all label directions.
It's the Morning Blitz.
We're having a great time, couple of laughs, everything's nice.
Weekday mornings from 7 to 8 Mountain, 8 to 9 Central.
Welcome back to the Morning Blitz, 8:37 on a Friday, 7:37 Mountain Time. We got picks of the weekend, of course, coming up here in a little bit. We'll have a local regional update, Royals and Rockies. Rockies were off yesterday, but the Royals, they got a big win. And then we'll talk some USA Soccer College World Series a little bit before the weekend, as that will get underway. But we got some weekend picks to get to before all of that. As I mentioned earlier, that Lucas is just taking over Ross's spot. So he's got a nice little 7-game lead.
Yeah, I got some pressure on me. I don't know if Russ is going to let me back on the show if I don't get him some wins here. So we'll see about this.
Yeah, so you're 38-22. I'm 31-29. As let's get to the picks of the weekend. All right, as I keep mentioning, it's been a little bit of a dry start or dry point of the season now, as there's just so much left of the college season. Only the College World Series with these last two teams left. We got some World Cup and then also some MLB. We'll start in the World Cup, actually. Of course, the big game tonight, Australia and the United States. Who you got?
Realistically, the U.S. hasn't ever really had it's not soccer is maybe like the 5th most popular sport here in the US. But no matter what sport it is, if it's in the Olympics, if it's in the World Cup, no matter what it is, I've got to take the US of A.
I love that. I'm going USA as well. Seems like, they actually have a decent little shot this year. The last World Cup several years ago in Qatar, they had a decent little run. They lost in the knockout round of 16, but they showed a lot of fight, and they won some big matches there. I think this year, of course, more teams are going to make the knockout stage this year. So really a win today, and they're pretty much a lock. I'm going to go with the United States. Once again, that game is later. Actually, we'll get to that in the walk-off where you can find that and how you can find that. We got Scotland and Morocco. Morocco actually surprised a lot of people in their last match versus Brazil, tying Brazil in that match. They have now Scotland.
Let's see here. I had a friend or two in college from Morocco, and with my very little knowledge here of the World Cup, I'll take Morocco for those guys. Shout out to those guys. Give me Morocco.
Yeah, I'll rock with Morocco as well to upset Scotland. Scotland, they beat Haiti in their first match of the World Cup. So they are first right now in Group C. Morocco is second right behind them. And I think Morocco will get the upset as well. Moving on, we've got, let's see if I pronounce this right. Cote d'Ivoire, I believe. Cote d'Ivoire versus Germany. Now, they shocked a lot of people as well. They knocked off, this match will be tomorrow. Cote d'Ivoire, they knocked off Ecuador in their first match, and they've got the number 1 seeded Germany out of Group E.
Well, let's see here. I know that Germany is very good. Of course, like we said, that game versus Cape Verde. Is that right? Who was that game against?
They had Curacao.
Oh, Curacao. There we go. Sorry about that. But yes, Germany, I know, is very good. I also had a German roommate. His name was Arn. So I don't know. I'm just going to keep relating it to people I know, I guess. I'm going to take Germany on this one.
A lot of foreign teammates.
Oh, yeah. On the track team, man, I obviously not close to every country, but probably close to every continent I knew somebody from.
That's awesome. I'm going Germany as well in this match, even though I think it's a great story. And that's what I love about this World Cup. Even, like the World Baseball Classic too, just in the Olympics, you always get these countries you don't even know about. And then yet they go on a run. But I think Germany kind of shuts that down tomorrow. I'm going to go with the Germans. Really intriguing matchup here. This is also tomorrow, Sweden versus the Netherlands. The Netherlands, they tied with Japan, which was a big shocker out in Group F. And then Sweden 1-0, they beat Tunisia. So, yeah, pretty good matchup in that one.
I don't think I knew anybody from Norway or Sweden, so I can't quite pull that card. Let's see here. Give me the Swedes. I'll take Sweden on this one.
I'm going to disagree with you. I'm going to go the Netherlands. I think they bounce back. This is going to be probably the best matchup of the weekend, honestly, just looking at some of these. I think this is going to be really two heavyweights. Netherlands is they've been a team. They're actually the team that knocked off USA in the last World Cup. So I'm going to go with the Netherlands to get it done and get back into their group stage, their Group F, which I believe it's the top 3 that make it. Used to be the top 2 in each group, but I believe it's top 3 now. So pretty much a win gets you in for the most part. 2 wins, you're almost a lock. I think the Netherlands get it done to get right back into things. All right, now let's move over to the MLB. This is our first of, 4 MLB picks here. So quite a few MLB picks. We're going to start with the I-70 series. Now, this got underway yesterday. So what we do is we pick the series winner. Now, the Royals, they already got a win. So it's 1-0 right now. Are you going to rock with the Royals in these next 3 to get only 1 win? Or are you going to go Cardinals as Cardinals and Royals in Kansas City?
As a Royals fan, I know that we definitely have the capability to screw this up. But yesterday we had an amazing game. I think we won 14-6. I believe that was the score. The bats were rolling, and I think we can keep it going. Give me the Royals to win the series.
I'll go Royals as well. I've picked the Royals several times, and they've always let me down, especially last weekend. I thought they were going to get the Astros. The Astros haven't been that good of a team, and then they got just crushed in one of the 2 games. The second one was okay, and they lost 2 of 3. I'll go Royals. Of course, they got a little head start this time, but I'll go Royals. Their offense yesterday was really good.
Oh, yeah.
And then down the other side of I-70, we got the Rockies at home taking on the Pirates in a best of 3.
Let's see here. Kind of depends, in my opinion, if Paul Skeens is pitching. Because, of course, if you don't know, Paul Skeens, one of the best young talents here in the MLB, pitching-wise. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take the Pittsburgh Pirates here.
Yeah, he is projected to throw tomorrow on Saturday night in Game 2. I'm gonna go Pittsburgh as well. They have they've kind of surprised some people maybe a little bit. They're 38-37, which you would think would be high up in their division, but no, the NL Central is the best division in baseball right now, so they're 4th. But they could still surprise people and sneak into the playoffs if they get their bats rolling. I think they will, because Colorado is a hitter's park. Moving on, we got the Blue Jays at the Cubs, kind of an interesting matchup there. Of course, the Blue Jays, they made the World Series last year and were a game away from winning it, and now they're not having as good of a season, but they take it to the Cubs, who me and Ross have talked a couple of times on this show about the Cubs. Amazing start, and then they have not been good lately, but they are hosting the Blue Jays for 3.
See, it's like, do I want to take the Cubs and see if because I feel like you're going to take the Blue Jays here. You know what? Give me the Cubs. Give me the Cubs to bounce back here. Let's see if I can get a win tally here for Ross.
Yeah, I'm actually not. I can't go Blue Jays. I don't like the Blue Jays. You know, they eliminated my Mariners last year in the ALCS, so I'm not going to go with them. Also, I think the Cubs at home, they're a little better than being on the road, and at this, the best of 3, obviously, in Chicago. I'll go Cubs on this one. We got Brewers at Braves. This is probably the best weekend series. It's the 2 top teams in the National League facing off right now, I believe. Yes. Let me look. Make sure I'm 100% on that, by the way, on this. That it is. Well, technically, okay, the Dodgers are technically number 1, but it's 2 and 3. So 2 division leaders right now in the Brewers and the Braves in Atlanta.
Who's 2 and who's 3? Is it Brewers then Braves?
Braves and Brewers by half a game.
Half a game. Oh my goodness. This should be a really good series. I'm going to go ahead and take Milwaukee on this one.
I really like Milwaukee. They're always a good team. I'm going to go Braves, though. They're at home. They've been really a surprise. They were kind of rough last season, and they've really bounced back this year. All right, we're going to go to something we've never done here, at least since I've been here on the show, UFC fight, which I keep saying there isn't a whole lot going on to try and get some enough picks here on the board. We got to go to the UFC realm of things. This is the main event for this Saturday. I'll probably going to mispronounce this name, but it's Kyoji Horiguchi, I believe, versus Manel Cape. If you know anything about those guys.
Do we know who the underdog and the overdog is?
Let's see. Horiguchi is 36-5. Manel Cape is 22-7. Let me see if I can find a line there on who the actual favorite is.
Feels
probably Horiguchi, though.
More games won there.
Yeah.
For Horiguchi. Oh, let's see here. You know what? Just because I think his name is really cool, I'm gonna go ahead and take Horiguchi on this one.
I'll go Cape then. I'll go Manel Cape. So we'll have a disagreement there and see who wins that. I don't even know if I'll be watching, but we'll see. Manel Cape. I think Manel Cape was. I think I saw he's from England. So two guys not from America that are going to be fighting in that one. And then of course we're going to wrap the picks up with maybe the biggest of the weekend, the College World Series. Who you got winning? We'll just do the entire thing, even if it runs into Monday. They'll play Saturday, Sunday, and it's a best of 3. And then if they do have to go to a game 3 if necessary, that'll be on Monday. So we might not have an answer for this pick until next Tuesday. But It's Oklahoma, North Carolina, College World Series. Who you got?
See, I've always kind of liked the Tar Heels. I like their colors, the baby blue and the white. Always really liked that. But in all honesty, I think the Sooners are rolling. I never thought I'd say this in my life, but Boomer Sooner. I'm gonna take Oklahoma in this one.
That's a lot. You're a Colorado guy, aren't you?
Yes.
That probably takes a lot to say that.
Yeah, it does take a lot to say that. But as a Colorado / K-State fan, inherently, I'm gonna take Oklahoma in this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna rock with OU as well. They've had quite the little run right now. I think they haven't lost to the College World Series. I think they've only lost one game. Yeah, they've lost one game entirely in the postseason in their back in the regional round. So they haven't lost in over 2 weeks. We're gonna go Oklahoma. Seems like kind of the Cinderella run for them, and I've been high on them because I think it's a pretty cool story. I know they're an SEC school. It's not really they're not like a crazy Cinderella team because they are an SEC team, but it's pretty cool to see them how they have just kind of come out of nowhere, and they will take on North Carolina. I'm going to go OU as well. So those were your picks of the weekend. Once again, 38-22 is Ross. I'm 31-29, so I got to get some work done throughout this little stretch here because I need to get some picks back. I've been really on the struggle bus lately. All right, coming up in our next segment, we will have a local regional update. Sports in Kansas has released their 3A All-State softball teams. We'll get to that. Of course, the Royals and Rockies. And then we'll get to the walk-off where we got more College World Series and the USA Soccer. You're listening to the Morning Blitz.
It's like they were throwing BP out there. You know it's bad when the Dodgers sent out Miguel Rojas to finish up the game. He's a position player because they were up by so much.
Royals did the same thing. They had to put in a position guy. It's rare do you see the team that's winning put in a position guy. That's a big slap in the face.
It is the biggest slap in the face that I think you can get. That's if Ross Volkmer goes in and pitches. You know you've had a bad night.
Catch the Morning Blitz weekday mornings, 7 to 8 Mountain, 8 to 9 Central, Red Yard Rocket 1025 Halloween.
Earl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland is rolling into summer with big offers on new GMCs. Get a 26 GMC Sierra 1500 elevation with $7,000 customer cash with trade-in or 0% for 60 months plus no payments for 90 days. Need heavy duty? Get the 26 GMC Sierra 2500 with $1,000 in rebates or 4.9% for 48 months. Plus save on 26 GMC Terrain and Arcadias with over $1,000 in rebates when you finance with GM Financial. See Earl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas or online at earlchev.com. GMC, professional grade.
If you're shopping for a banking institution, visit with Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, and Quinter, Kansas. The Equity Bank is heavily invested in local business and activities contributing in many ways back to their community. Their employees are involved with many organizations and area events. Plus, a lot of experience comes with that staff. You'll find valuable local assistance when you bank at the Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, Quinter, and other locations in Western Kansas. The Equity Bank, member FDIC.
You can feel it in the air. Longer days, greener lawns, and plenty of projects waiting around the house. Good thing Hoover Lumber-A's Hardware in Goodland has you covered. Freshen up your home with Benjamin Moore paint, tackle the yard with powerful Ego battery tools, and give your lawn the boost it needs with Stage 1 Ultimate Fertilizer. Thinking about cooking outside? Check out their great selection of grills, griddles, smokers, and outdoor living essentials. And remember, if you need it, Hoover Lumber-A's Hardware probably has it. They eat and have milk. Hoover Lumber-A's Hardware in Goodland and Colby, your place for just about everything.
Looking for insurance that actually puts you first? At the insurance agency in downtown Goodland, we're independent, which means we work for you. Whether it's auto, home, crop, or business, we shop top carriers to get you the best coverage at the best price. No pushy sales, just honest advice from people who live right here in your community. Give us a call today at 785-899-5011 or stop by 1020 Main in Goodland and let's get you covered. The insurance agency. Insurance the way it should be.
Whether it's touchdowns, home runs, or buzzer beaters, we've got you covered. It's the Morning Blitz.
Well, welcome back to the Morning Blitz here on a Friday edition. Hope everybody has a good weekend coming up. As once again, no Ross today, so Lucas filling in for the time being. He's out for about a week on family vacation up in Colorado, so hope he has a good time as we try to do our best here. The newbies filling in.
Yes.
Here on the Morning Blitz. We got a little local regional update for you. So we'll start on the baseball side. Braxton Withington for Colby. He played in the KABC Senior All-State game, which stands for the Kansas Association of Baseball Coaches. All the seniors, kind of the all-stars of the state. He actually got to throw one inning in that game. He threw 2 strikeouts, no runs, no hits. His team got a 3-0 win in that all-state game. And then also the 3A all-state softball teams for the sports in Kansas, they released them yesterday, I believe. They had 6 players. Colby had 6 players honored. On the first team, junior Morgan Hills, utility and designated player was selected. On second team, junior pitcher Ryler Carter and sophomore infielder Micah Nolan made the list. 3 honorable mentions for Colby: Ellie McCarthy, Maddie Hill, and Sadie Cheney. And Goodland had 2 honorable mentions with Allison Cure and Alessa Rickard. So congratulations to them getting on the Sports in Kansas All-State teams. And then the Royals and Rockies. Of course, the Royals yesterday, your Royals, big win for the boys in blue. They get a 14-6 victory. Big offensive outburst. Bobby Witt Jr. homered early and had an RBI, but he did leave I don't know if you saw that. He left the game because of a sore knee, made a diving play at shortstop, and then he ended up leaving early. And then Jack Caglione, you see on the Hurl GMC video stream, he goes deep. Him and Salvador Perez going deep. That's got to be good to see as a Royals fan, just some of those younger guys really starting to get into their own and play good.
Yes, absolutely. There was some big expectations from Jack Caglione, and I'd say this season he's slowly starting to creep up there to those expectations. Had kind of a rough start to his first season with the Royals, but now he's starting to climb up there, and it's really nice to see.
And Noah Cameron got the win in last night's game. Matthew Liberatore for the Cardinals gets the loss. 7 runs in under 2 innings. Not quite the start you're ever looking for. So I don't know if you saw that line drive that hit Seth Lugo in the face last week. Did you see that at all?
Yes.
So he is back today. Crazy enough, he's back. He had a concussion. He had to go the week off on the concussion injured list. He's back now. So he's getting the start tonight for his first time back, facing Michael McGreevy in the second game of 4 in that series. You can catch that on 790 KXXX, the first pitch at 7:15 Central and 6:15 Mountain. The Rockies, they were off yesterday, but they are back at it tonight. 3-game series starting in Denver. We talked about versus the Pittsburgh Pirates. Kyle Freeland gets to start for the Rockies, and Bubba Chandler going for the Pirates. First pitch, 7:40 Central, 6:40 Mountain at Coors Field. Do you ever get out to many Rockies or Royals games whenever you can?
So I've actually only ever been to one Royals game. That was after a KAB conference. It was a game versus the I want to say it was the Blue Jays. That would have been a couple of years ago. And unfortunately, the Royals they had a pretty hot start to that season. They had hit at least one home run in the last in their first few games, and unfortunately, that game that I happened to attend was one of them where they didn't happen to hit a home run. So that was slightly disappointing, but it was a lot of fun. And actually, my wife and I are going to take a trip to Colorado, hopefully here in the next few weeks. So maybe there will be a Rockies game there on the list. I know that you can get some fairly cheap tickets for clear up there. So we'll see about that. Maybe I'll have my first Rockies game here in the next few weeks.
I will say I've only been to 2 Rockies games. It's been a little while since I've been. Like, Nolan Arenado was still on the team for reference the last time I was at a Rockies game, so it's been quite some time. But those games, those are really fun. Just downtown ballparks, that's one thing I think the Royals are going to really enjoy when they move downtown. I know the parking can be a little bit of a pain, but at the end of the day, it's much more cooler to have a downtown park than just kind of in the middle of nowhere. All right, let's get to the walk-off.
And back lifts his ball high and deep to right. How about a walk-off Thomas to the 10. Denver's going on to New England. They win it on the first play of overtime. Mahomes swings it. It's there. Hardman. Jackpot. Kansas City.
Well, the College World Series finals, as we mentioned, start this weekend, Saturday, Sunday, then an if necessary game on Monday, Oklahoma and North Carolina. North Carolina comes in as the favorites. They were the 5th-ranked team in the country, as OU was the 2 seed back in the Atlanta Regional at Georgia Tech a while ago, so they don't even have a technical ranking on them. So if you want to tune in, that'll be on ESPN, being played back in Omaha at Charles Schwab Field. And then USA Soccer, they continue tonight at the World Cup, playing Australia for the game that they're second. So Australia's second right now in their group, and USA is number 1. Now, I had heard that Paraguay was going to be the USA's toughest match, and USA took care of Paraguay, and now it looks like Australia might be the next test. As they look like a decent little team.
Yeah, actually, I'm really excited about this USA team. Of course, I'm on social media fairly often and on TikTok and stuff. It's nice to see all of anybody who's not even necessarily a soccer fan rally behind the guys. You see that with almost any U.S. sport, whether that's the Olympics, World Cup, anything like that. So I'm really excited for this U.S. team. And if they win the World Cup, man, it's going to be a great 4th of July, to say the least.
That would be quite the story if they won their first ever World Cup. That'll be at 2 p.m. today Central Time, so actually an earlier start than what they had been doing. They're in Seattle, 1 p.m. Mountain Time, as that'll be on Fox. You can also stream it on Fubo and the Fox Sports app. A win would put U.S. in great position. Pretty much it feels like a lock to advance to the knockout stage. That'll do it for today. I hope everybody has a good weekend. Lucas Kenny, I'm Garrett Wellbrock. That was the Morning Blitz.